In Subnautica there are 4 different Lost River entrances, and in this video I'm going to talk about every single one of them, starting with the most dangerous to the safest. I'm going to talk about how you can get to each of them, what creatures you will encounter there, and also some personal recommendations. Let's get right into it. The most dangerous entrance. If you go on top of lifepod 3 and point yourself 2.5 clicks right of northwest, you will eventually end up in the blood kelp zone where you're going to find lifepod 2. And if you stay on top of it and point yourself 1.5 clicks right of southwest, you will eventually end up in the ghost forest, where if you always stay close to the left wall and keep going forward, you will find a drop that takes you straight to the Lost River. But it's not that simple. First off, let's talk about the path that you have to take to get here. You have to go through the blood kelp zone, which is an area filled with warpers, ampules, crab squids, and you sometimes even see a ghost leviathan. Then you enter this cave, you think it's safe, but then boom, ghost leviathan juvenile. This time accompanied by river prowlers. In terms of the vehicles you can use, I recommend the Seamoth or the prawn suit, and not the Cyclops. For 2 reasons. The first reason is that those underwater trees fill up this entire area and are very hard to navigate through, especially with the Cyclops. And the second reason is the juvenile ghost leviathan that patrols this area. It always stays around and looks for the perfect time to strike while you try to unstuck your Cyclops from those giant trees. And that makes the ghost forest entrance to the Lost River the most dangerous, in my opinion. The first okay-ish entrance. If you stay on top of lifepod 12 and point yourself half a click right of north, you will eventually arrive to a very sheer drop. And if you look to the left, you will already be able to see the second Lost River entrance. Seems easy, right? Well, there are some things to look out for. On the route there, you will most likely see a lot of ampules and a couple of bone sharks. But the biggest problem lies deeper down. To arrive at the center corridor of the Lost River, you will need to get past this hole that leads to the lava zone. But that is not the problem. The actual problem is the juvenile ghost leviathan that guards this entrance, which you will need to get past. But you don't really need to worry because every vehicle in the game can take at least 1 hit from this creature. What makes this entrance safer than the last is that this one is much easier to navigate through in comparison to the ghost forest entrance. In terms of the vehicles you could use to go past here, you can take any vehicle you want, although I would be more cautious if I use the Cyclops, because it being so big it will take more time to get over that hole. And even though it can take a couple of hits, it is more likely to get hit more, because of how slow it moves. Considering everything I said, I think this entrance fits just right into the okay-ish category of the Lost River entrances. The second okay-ish entrance. If you stay about 150 meters above lifepod 19 and point yourself 1.5 click right of southeast, you will enter the Grand Reef, where you will find a hole leading to the deep Grand Reef. You want to go inside this hole and turn around and go straight. And after going forward a bit, you will eventually see the final Degassi habitat, from which you want to go to the left and you will soon start to see signs of the Lost River. Just follow that green brine and you will eventually enter the Lost River. The hostile creatures that you will encounter are the crab squid and warpers. But, like in the last entrance, there is another hostile creature, deeper in the Lost River. And that creature is, yes, you guessed it, another ghost leviathan juvenile, which you will need to get past to get to the giant cove tree. In terms of vehicles, I only recommend that you take the prawn suit and the Seamoth with you. I don't recommend the Cyclops because of how narrow the entrances are. In summary, this is another very okay-ish entrance, if you don't plan to take the Cyclops with you in the Lost River. The safest entrance. Finally, we have arrived at the safest and my personal favorite Lost River entrance. If you stay on top of lifepod 17 and point yourself half a click right of southwest, you will end up at the beginning of the blood kelp trench. You want to go inside it and always stay close to the right wall. And when it goes deeper, you go deeper. You want to keep going deeper until you find this piece of wreckage right here, and then you will already be able to see parts of the Lost River. Just follow through with it and you will enter the Lost River. The only threats you will encounter on this route are the ampils, the warpers, and also some crab squids when you enter the Lost River. And no, no juvenile ghost leviathans here. In terms of vehicles, you can use any vehicle you want, because you shouldn't have any problem getting here, as the threats are minimal. In summary, this is as safe as it's going to get in terms of Lost River entrances. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this was helpful, make sure to leave a like and feel free to comment which of those entrances you prefer yourself. And until next time, take care.